Hello and welcome to Nltv News. Now this is Johanna Muri and we'll start with the headlines. Naga People's Movement for Human Rights asserts that solution to political issue is non-achievable without Naga flag and constitution. Further, the organization held New Delhi responsible for the delay in solution to the issue by blaming divide games. The much-awaited South Asian Cross Country Championship and the 56th National Cross Country Championship finally begins at the Indira Gandhi Stadium in Kohima. As many as 28 teams comprising 671 athletes and officials from Southeast Asian countries and different states and union territories of India participate in the mega event. Amid rise in road accidents and keeping in mind the public safety, Dimapur Police sets a speed limit for all vehicular motors in Dimapur. Maximum speed limit allowed in town area to be 30 km per hour and at 50 km per hour from Zion Hospital Junction to Chumukadima. Union Home Minister Amit Shah calls a meeting to finalize border pact between Assam and Meghalaya at New Delhi on March 29. Both Chief Minister of Assam and Meghalaya are to attend a meeting to end the 5-decade-old dispute between the states. India sees fourth hike in the fuel price on Saturday, with the rates of fuel being increased by Rs 3.20 per litre in 5 days. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman cites Ukraine crisis as prime reason for sources in diesel and petrol prices. Now the news in details. Amid the prolonged delay in the Naga political issue, the Naga People Movement for Human Rights asserted that solution to political issue is not achievable without Naga flag and constitution. This was categorically conveyed by Secretary General of Naga People's Movement for Human Rights, Ningolo Krome, during a press conference held at Saramati Hotel, Dimapur on Friday, with Krome as the press conference further stated that the Nagas had their identity even before NSC and NSCN came into existence, with the NNC hosting the flag in the year 1947, followed by the Constitution. He said that every village and town in Nagaland is governed by the Constitution, hence Nagas have every right to the Constitution. He also mentioned that the Naga political issue would not have dragged long if all NNPGs had come together. Krome even urged PM Modi to intervene and take control of the matters directly. Krome further blamed New Delhi for playing the divide game to make the Naga solution unachievable.
It is a matter of grave concern that the peace process since 2019 has degenerated into a stalemate despite change of interlocutor. The House, therefore, urges that the Indian Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, to take direct control of the negotiation. Negotiation at the highest level is the best recourse to safeguard the talks from the vicissitudes of bureaucracy. Thank you. Certainly, if they come together, it would have been solved long back. But even the division is caused by New Delhi itself. And this is a game they will always play to divide the Naga people, to keep the solution unachievable. So that is where the Naga people ourselves, we must realize the works of enemies who comes as a friend and divide us. So if we're united, I'm sure this problem will not have dragged on this long. It is a matter.
The Southern Angami Youth Organization on Friday said that the indefinite ban being imposed in its jurisdiction would continue till its demands are met. This came a day after the government of Manipur wrote to the government of Nagaland to take up the matter with the organizers for immediate withdrawal of the ongoing indefinite ban along with Dimapur-Imphal National Highway and to maintain peace. The Southern Angami Public Organization supported the SEIO had called for a total ban on March 21 within its jurisdiction, demanding the government of Manipur to withdraw its armed personnel and permanent structures at Kezolatsa area within 72 hours. It imposed an indefinite ban on March 24 after following the failures of Manipur government to meet its demand. Addressing a press conference at Kimifuhe Ground, Kiwema on Friday, Sayo President Medekrile Mejura said that the decision to call off its ban lies in the hands of government of Manipur. Mejura further added that if Manipur withdraws armed personnel and permanent structures at the encroached area of Kezoletsa, then the organizations will readily withdraw the indefinite ban. The much-awaited South Asian Cross-Country Championship and the 56th National Cross-Country Championship finally begins on Saturday at Indira Gandhi Stadium in Kohima. Notably, the event is being organized under the aegis of South Asian Athletic Federation and the Athletic Federation of India. It may be mentioned that initially the championship was scheduled to held for January 15 but was postponed to March 26 due to the spike in COVID-19 cases. It is also to be mentioned that the government of Nagaland on Friday organized a musical program at the Dr. Imkongliba Memorial Au Hall, Raj Bhavan, in honor of the delegates participating in the athletics event. Earlier, as many as 28 teams comprising of 671 athletes and officials from Southeast Asian countries that include Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives and Nepal and different states and union territories of India arrived in Nagaland for mega championships. Advisor to CM and Associate Vice President of Athletics Federation of India Abu Mehta on Saturday officially released the souvenir Akimchi in a musical program held in honor of delegates of Southeast Asian Cross Country Championship and 56th National Cross Country Championship at the Raj Bhavan in Kohima. Furthermore, Speaker of NLA and the host of program Shargain Longkumar in his opening address stated that this event in Nagaland biggest sporting event ever since Nagaland achieved statehood and is proud to host it. He further shared that this event has brought the athletics officials and the delegates from entire South Asian region together, giving the opportunity for national and international athletes to engage in healthy competition and to learn from each other, the cultures, custom, nation and their societies. He further stated that the government of Nagaland is committed to promote sports in all possible ways as it is conceived about the contribution it can make to our society, both for individual and the community. Notably, Akimchi is the official mascot of South Asian Cross Country Championship and 56th International Cross Country Championship is a joyous, happy running hornbill, and the name of a mascot is a connotation of the word ambition derived from Sumi dialect of the Naga tribe, which exemplifies the ambition of new generation of Naga youth.
And I welcome each and every one of you to the musical program organized in honor of our dearest guest of delegates. Welcome to Nagaland, land of festivals and home of the Naga headhunter warriors. Nagaland became as the 16th state to be included in the Union of India on 1st of December 1963 under the then President of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Since the days of statehood, Nagaland as a state has witnessed decades of change and achievements. And today, Nagaland is proud to host the 56th National Cross Country Championship. The South Asian Cross Country Championship and the National Cross Country Championship is a mega international event for our region. And it gives me immense pride and pleasure to have the opportunity to associate with an event of such magnitude. We are set to host the championship in a grand manner. This event has brought the athletes, officials and the delegates from the entire South Asian region together, giving the opportunity for the national and international athletes to engage in healthy competition and to learn from each other's culture, customs and from their very own societies. I hope this event will foster new friendship and strengthen relationships among sportspersons and among countries. The government of Nagaland is committed to promoting sports in all possible ways, as it is convinced about the contribution it can make towards society, both for individuals and for the community. This event is Nagaland's biggest sporting event ever since we achieved statehood nearly 6 decades ago. And hosting an international and national sporting event like this is very important to us, and it is an opportunity, a privilege.
The Yimkyung Tribal Council stated that the Luyanba has to resolve to withdraw from 14 tribal hohos of Nagaland as secretary with the immediate effect. The council, in a press order issued on March 25, stated that they abides by the INPO Resolution No. 3 on 5th November 2021 adopted at Hotel Saramati, Dimapur in its reaffirmation during the INPO CEC meeting held on 25th March 2022. However, the council maintained that it should continue to support and participate for early settlement of Naga political issue. The Commissioner of Police of Dimapur, Rotitu Tetso, has informed on the speed limit at Dimapur. The Commissioner on Friday stated that in the interest of public safety and convenience, that maximum speed limit for all types of motor vehicles is fixed at 50 km per hour from Zion Hospital Junction to Chumukedima and 30 km per hour within Dimapur town area. Tetso further informed that all speed limits shall be enforced for a period of 1 month with effect from 1st April to 30 April 2022. The State Council of Educational Research and Training of Nagaland under National Council of Educational Research and Training, New Delhi, conducted the Foundational Learning Study on 24th and 25th March 2022. Field investigators were identified to carry out the study, and external observers from the Ministry of Education were also present to oversee the smooth conduct of the test. Moreover, focusing on learning achievements in the fundamental years, which in the pertinent in order to provide the learners with capabilities to make their subsequent learning experiences more meaningful and absorbing. The Ministry of Education has launched National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy mission to provide the roadmap for strengthening the domain of fundamental learning at the national level. Notably, the study aimed to draw a first-hand understanding of the learning levels of the students at the foundational stage. It may be mentioned that before the actual study was conducted, a dry run was tested on 15th March 2022. The physical verification of the tenants of supermarket complex in Kohima will take place from 4 to 6 April 2022 from 11 a.m. onwards at the Conference Hall of Deputy Commissioner Office, Kohima. The Deputy Commissioner of Kohima, Gregory Tejawile, has informed that all Friday that concerned with previous tenants of supermarkets should get the verification in person. The Commissioner also directed tenants to bring along documents such as photo identity card like Aadhaar, driving license, Epic card, PAN card, along with previous allotment order, including any documents relating to their previous tenants at supermarket complex. The DC also directed the concerned person in possession of the previous allotment order to appear in person before the verification committee in the original. The notification further stated that no further claims shall be entertained at any point in time beyond the assigned date. Chief Minister Nifirio has urged the citizens of Nagaland to observe the Earth hour by turning off non-essential electric lights on Saturday from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Along with the rest of the world, the CM took down a Twitter to state that everyone can help conserve energy to avoid dire impacts in climate change. Rio further advised everyone to practice mindfulness every day. The 3D capacity building of fish farmers through skill development training and critical input distribution on advances in sustainable aquaculture practices concluded on March 23, 2022. The program was organized by ICAR Central Institute of Fisheries Education of Kolkata Center under NEH program in collaboration with the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Government of Nagaland during the closing program, Deputy Director of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Dr. Vimezo urged the participants to farmers to make full utilize of the training and adopt scientific fish farming practices for enhancing productivity and improving their livelihood. On the other hand, Senior Scientist and Training Coordinator, ICAR CIFE Kolkata Center, Dr. Gurgama Bishwas, delivered various classes as resource person and modern innovative methods of fish culture, soil and water quality management and feeding strategies in the aquaculture. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Friday scheduled a meeting to be held on March 29 to finalize the border pact between Assam and Meghalaya, which is signed in January to end the 5-decade-old dispute between the states. Both CM of Assam and Meghalaya are expected to attend the meeting on the both states at 4:30 p.m. in New Delhi. The issues of centering of 6 of the 12 border area will be taken up at the meeting. In a stern warning to the drug smugglers operating in Manipur, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on Saturday asked the smuggled battlers to surrender the face consequences. Singh said that the abuse of drug is destroying the future of young generation, creating a serious negative impact on society. Hence, person caught with illegal drugs will have to face compulsory jail for a term of a year, which will be extendable up to 2 years under the relevant act. India sees fourth hike in the fuel prices on Saturday, with the rates of fuel being increased by Rs 3.20 per litre in 5 days. After the latest price revision, petrol in Delhi will be sold at Rs 98.61 per litre and diesel will be sold at 89.87 per litre. The petrol cost will be Rs 113.35 after an increase of 84 paisa and a hike by Rs 85 paisa. Diesel will be sold at Rs 97.55. In the finance capital Mumbai, the prices are the highest among all the metro cities. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, however, on Friday had linked the surge in diesel and petrol prices to Ukraine war, which is now completed a month.
दुनिया में आग लगी है भाई, सभी जगह बढ़ रहा है, हमारे हिंदुस्तान में थोड़ी बढ़ रहा है। कल श्रीलंका में 40 रुपए बढ़ा है, हमारे फिर भी पैसों में बढ़ता है, वहाँ तो रुपए में बढ़ रहा है। डजंट मैटर, थोड़ा टाइम का बात है, महीने भर में उसके बाद सब सेटल हो जाएगा। अभी तो क्राइसिस का टाइम है ना, क्राइसिस टाइम में मिडिल क्लास पुअर सबके लिए बराबर है ना। वो तो क्राइसिस का टाइम खत्म होगा, महीने भर में उसके बाद सब ठीक हो जाएगा, वापस वहीं पे आ जाएगा। तो महीने भर की बात है, वो तो ऊपर नीचे होता रहता है। महीने भर के बाद वापस सेटल डाउन हो जाएगा, क्योंकि डॉलर का क्रूड का प्राइस नीचे आ रहा है। जैसे जैसे धीरे नीचे आता जाएगा, खत्म हो जाएगा, वापस नीचे आ जाएगा।
लाइट में क्या पड़ेगा, तेल तो डला नहीं है ना भैया, पानी से तो चलेगा नहीं है। वही सब जो करेगा वही होगा ना।
सर, आम आदमी की ज़िंदगी पे तो बहुत फ़र्क पड़ता है। मतलब जैसे अब गाड़ियों में अगर पेट्रोल महंगा हो जाएगा तो मतलब महंगाई बढ़ती जाएगी। अब एक आम आदमी की ज़िंदगी में अब पेट्रोल डीजल सब कुछ महंगा होगा तो और चीज़ें भी महंगी होती जाएंगी। तो सरकार को ये देखना चाहिए, उनको थोड़ा बर्डन इस चीज़ का खुद लेना चाहिए, ताकि थोड़े टैक्सेस कम हो और उसमें प्राइसेस कम हो तो थोड़ी राहत मिले आम आदमी को।
सर, हमारी इनकम घटती जा रही है, महंगाई बढ़ती जा रही है। हमारी तो इनकम वहीं की वहीं रहती है, महंगाई बढ़ जाती है। हमें महीने में हर बार अब गैस सिलेंडर के मतलब 50 रुपये बढ़े ना, तो हमें मेरे ख्याल 2 साल हो गए ना कोई सब्सिडी मिल रही है ना कुछ मिल रही है। हमारा पेट्रोल के पैसे बढ़ते हैं तो सब चीज़।
Reliance Group Chairman Anil Ambani on Friday resigned as the Director of Reliance Power and Reliance Infrastructure. Notably, his resignation came following markets regulator SERB's SEBI's order abstraining him from associating with any listed companies for allegedly siphoning off funds from the company. It is to be mentioned that the SEBI in February barred Reliance from Home Finance Limited, industrialist Ambani and 3 others from associating themselves with any intermediary registered with SEBI. Any listed public company or acting directors, promoters of any public company which intends to raise money from the public till further orders. Meanwhile, the 2 Reliance Group companies say that Rahul Sarin has been appointed as an additional director in the company in the capacity of independent director for a term to 5 years on Friday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to attend the 5th Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation Chair Summit hosted by Sri Lanka virtually on March 30. Besides India and Sri Lanka, the BIMSTEC comprises Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan. Notably, the summit is expected to focus on expanding economic engagement among its member countries. It may be mentioned that the meetings of BIMSTEC senior officials will take place on March 28, followed by meetings of the BIMSTEC foreign ministers BMM on March 29. Furthermore, the MEA said that the leaders are expected to discuss the establishment of basic infrastructural structures and mechanism of the group. Notably, the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technological and Economic Cooperation is a regional organization comprising 7 member states around Bay of Bengal region. As part of Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav initiative, the Kohima Municipal Council organized a workshop-cum-awareness program on plastic waste management and segregation of waste at KMC Office Kohima on 25th March 2022. Speaking on the occasion, Administrator KMC Lanusenla Longkumar stated that plastic waste has worsened since the pandemic, polluting the whole of Kohima town, which would create ill effects for the environment as well as every individual, which was a collective failure. She further urged every individual to have sense of self-responsibility to manage waste segregation and to sanitize each other before the air becomes unbreathable, and urged the public to use single plastic, reusable and recycle to keep the city healthy and clean. Longkumar informed that composition and to enforcement not to throw plastic waste in drainage and streets will start soon. The Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy has said in New Delhi that although China has claimed some parts of the Northeast for its own, the region was India's heartbeat and the government was committed to its development. Reddy while speaking in an inauguration a 3-day Northeast festival at the Indira Gandhi National Centre for Arts in New Delhi on Friday. The minister further highlighted the ongoing developments projected in Northeast. Reddy, who holds the culture of tourism and development of Northeast region portfolio, spoke while the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi was in Delhi to meet External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. A senior U.S. defense official said that the Pentagon have seen some indications of Russia sending troops reinforcement from Georgia to Ukraine to support its offensive in the Donbas region. Movements of some number of troops from Georgia was seen, but an exact number has not been determined yet. The United States and European Mission has established a joint task force to ensure energy security for Ukraine and the European and reduce Europeans' defense on Russian fossil fuels. The U.S. President Joe Biden and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen on Friday, through a White House press release, announced to continue to collaborate to the advance and production and use of clean, renewable and hydrogen to displace undebated fossil fuels cut greenhouse gas emission, which will include both technology and supporting infrastructures. Notably, this task force for energy security will be chaired by a representative from White House and representative of the President of the European Commission. The release further added that the work will surely ensure energy security for Ukraine and the EU in preparations for the next winter and support EU's goal to end its dependence on Russian fossil fuels. The Quad Senior Cyber Group met in Sydney on Friday to strengthen the cybersecurity cooperation and bolster of the reliance of the critical infrastructure of the grouping. The meet is a two-day event and will conclude on March 26. The meet is solely organized to discuss opportunities on extending cybersecurity operations and uplifting cyber resilience and critical infrastructure protected in one's respective region. The United Kingdom is set to provide Ukraine with essential food supplies worth £2 million, the UK Foreign Ministry said in a statement on Saturday. According to the ministry, it estimated over 12 million people are currently in need of humanitarian assistance across Ukraine, with the capital figure likely to be much higher. Notably, the warehouse in Poland and Slovakia are being readied to supply the goods to the government of Ukraine from early next week. The ministry further added that saying around 25 truckloads will be transported by road and rail to the local Ukraine communities in the greatest needs. Thank you for tuning in. For more updates, keep watching Nagaland TV.